Architecture is not just about designing buildings. It is a reflection of the culture, technology, and philosophy of the time in which it is created. Various schools of thought have emerged over history, each influencing the way architects approach design, space, materials, and form. These schools often coincide with broader cultural, technological, or philosophical movements, evolving as society itself changes. Let us explore some of the most influential architectural schools of thought. Classical architecture is one of the earliest known styles, emerging in ancient Greece and Rome, and resurging during the Renaissance. This school is characterized by its emphasis on symmetry and proportion, featuring elements like columns, Doric, Ionic, Corinthian, and formal geometry. Buildings from this era are designed to embody harmony, balance, and idealized forms, making them timeless. Iconic examples include the Parthenon in Athens, representing Greek classical architecture, and St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, showcasing Renaissance classical design. Moving into the early 20th century, Modernism became a dominant school of thought between the 1920s and 1970s. Modernism embraced new technologies and materials such as steel and concrete, which allowed for innovative design features like clean lines, open floor plans, flat roofs, large glass windows, and minimal ornamentation. The philosophy of form follows function was central to this movement, focusing on functionality and simplicity. Noteworthy examples of modernist design are Villa Savoye by Le Corbusier, Falling Water by Frank Lloyd Wright, and the Barcelona Pavilion by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. During the mid-20th century, Brutalism emerged as a reaction to modernism's sleekness, characterized by exposed concrete, massive forms, raw finishes, and a stark sense of monumentality. Often considered harsh and utilitarian, Brutalism emphasized the honest expression of materials. The Barbican Centre in London by Chamberlain, Powell, and Bonn, and Boston City Hall by Coleman, McKinnell and Knowles, are prime examples of this style. As a response to modernism, postmodernism arose in the late 20th century, spanning the 1970s to the 1990s. It reintroduced ornament, color, and historical references that modernism had shunned. Postmodern architecture is known for its playful, whimsical designs and use of irony and cultural references to past architectural styles. The Portland Building by Michael Graves and the Piazza d'Italia in New Orleans by Charles Moore epitomize postmodern architecture. Deconstructivism, emerging in the late 20th century and continuing to the present, features fragmentation, nonlinear shapes, asymmetry, and chaotic forms. This school breaks down conventional architecture, embracing unpredictability and disorder. Influential deconstructivist designs include the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao and the Walt Disney Concert Hall, both by Frank Gehry, and the Haydar Aliyev Center in Baku by Zaha Hadid. In reaction to environmental concerns, sustainable architecture, or green architecture, gained prominence from the late 20th century to the present. This approach focuses on energy efficiency, the use of sustainable materials, and environmentally responsible designs. Buildings in this school often utilize renewable energy sources, passive heating and cooling techniques, and waste reduction strategies. The Edge in Amsterdam and the Bullitt Center in Seattle serve as benchmarks of this approach, being sustainable office and net zero energy buildings respectively.